Welcome. I'm so glad that you can join me here today. (239) on what is Ascension, and lesson 208. These pages 611 and 612 out of 848 from the Sovereign Light, named after my ministry, A Course in Metaphysical Spirituality. And how do you do? My name is Reverend Maria Arvanitides. Welcome. So as we've been exploring this thing called Ascension and making notes as we explore and expand on the process, that we may be guided throughout this day to activate with these words that come together to form the statement. Today, I integrate both sides into the wholeness of my mind. I make enough. Spirituality, both sides of the brain, must be operative in oneness to see the light. Body, mind, and spirit must work out all at once and simultaneously. Whew, and breathe that fresh air in for a moment. And so how is it that the inner workings of the body, and with no involvement of the self to manually impose, is so delicately cooperating with the whole of its systems for the self to be well and function healthy? So as we come together in this place, won't you join me? And you can opt to have your eyes closed or open and repeat the following words out loud. First off, find a comfortable position that you may be standing, anything that allows your back to straighten, and take a few deep breaths in and bring it all down and out. Breathe it all in and out. Find your place of center and anchor. Let your consciousness sink into your heart space. Open it up with every breath in. And out. And be aware of your feet, the soles of your feet. May they be shoulder width apart, or you're in a sitting position. That you also acknowledge the lower aspect of your body, that it connects with the earth and the lower chakras from the solar plexus and the heart space, as it connects from the Muladhara and that place of the root and southern star, all the way up to the northern star, where it sparks that sovereign light from within, that awareness and illuminates right out from every breath in and out. And so, today, I integrate both sides into the wholeness of my mind, that I make enough, that I am enough. So remind yourself throughout the day and say these words. Today, I integrate both sides into the wholeness of my mind. I make enough. Today, I integrate both sides into the wholeness of my mind. I make enough. Today, I integrate both sides into the wholeness of my mind. I make enough. Today I integrate both sides into the wholeness of my mind. I make enough. The mind must learn its outer circumstances are to be trusted just as well as from the inside they do function to sustain its life with, to begin to understand how well the inner workings do just well with the self, not involving to do anything but surrender to it. The body will listen to the mind, and whatever it is thinking and feeling, it will resonate. And in exactly the same way the outer world does. And how is that working out for you? Are you connected or disconnected with the power struggle of it all? So if you're feeling a power struggle and you're undergoing one with your circumstances, could it be the inner workings that are recreating it into your environment that you must deal with? And so the body will listen to the mind and whatever it is thinking, and the same thing with the physical, listening to the ethereal and to the reflection. So this was the reason behind the affirmations and all the many practices to reach this far, as in the evolution of the self, to have it understand, and yet some more about ascension. Again, ascension is a process of transcending into something more evolved. All the previous information about sound, that is vibration, and that this hits a chord of resonance to right to the very cellular level for the light. Today, I integrate both sides into the wholeness of my mind. I make enough to break it down from the many layers of the body's auric field, and from the multicolored rainbow that is organs and hormones. They release that tide in well with the emotional and physical body. Eventually it would go back to the three primary colors, and then again the white and dark light that for the most part would very well cancel itself out. And the same goes with sound. Vibration meets frequency. And everything came in dualistic reality of contraction and expansion. And as we merged the two, we got a third, more pristine self that was the oneness we were always looking and seeking out to find. This very well might be another summary of the book thus far, so let it yield here then. The endocrine system is something that was not touched on in the previous read, nor did the mention of the sections of the heart nor brain in other previous, like the Course in Miracles or whatever other going-ons that were very one-sided, to say the least, to say as much of what the self might have preferred for its enlightenment through logic or the creative chamber of the brain to formulate ascension with. When the self can readily, through breath, be able to regulate with thought and feeling, and best of all, to chant with sound the chakras, when they are spinning with the life force in harmony like little vortexes, that self can join them up to form a white light, a stream of white light outward. So from the Muladhara to the Svadhisthana, and out in this, the physical, and from the light to the emotional body, to the Muladhara, solar plexus. And these aren't just mantras, they're also dated back in Vedic times that take us back to even further the Egyptian, and how they have evolved from the Egyptian sounds of the one word that made it happen. The word that is the sound, the the ooh, the oh, e. So again, it goes back into the mind from the solar, into the e, from the ye, from the heart, and they're here, the throat, and so on. And as we continue, each and every sound that differentiates from the many teachings that have been passed down, that we may find a way to improvise and change in the way that best suits us for our own evolution. And so we just play around with these things, and we know how it changes by the way we feel when we word out, like and it comes back to us, this vibration that creates this frequency. And their vortices, yes, it's true. And so, the endocrine system is something that was not touched on in the previous read by those other books and all these other teachings. To say, when the self can readily through breath be able to regulate with thought and feeling, and best of all, to chant with sound the chakras, when they are spinning with the life force in harmony like it was intended to, focus And specifically, what it is, it wants to heal or unblock with various mantras and mudras and chants. So, like little vortices that form realities, the self can join them up to form a white light, a stream of white light outward. This then becomes something that the self can also transcend to break free from such an incubation chamber and yet another stage of resurrection without having to leave its body. So as we transform and transfigure from this transmutation, that we might transcend into another parallel reality, a more evolved one that's best suited for us in our frequency. The purpose for today is to learn from the delicate inner balance the workings of the self in such a way as to feel inspired to express with graceful movement and to its outer world with its ascension. And I will leave you with these words. Today, I integrate both sides into the wholeness of my mind. I make enough. Today, I integrate both sides into the wholeness of my mind. I make enough. Today, I integrate both sides into the wholeness of my mind. I make enough. Today, I integrate both sides into the wholeness of my mind. I make enough. So you can combine many teachings from many cultures and add them to your very own modality to modify, whether they be from South Asia, North Asia, Buddhist, Vedic, Egyptian, and not really care so much about, oh, she didn't say it the way it's supposed to be, because they have been adapted and modified to best suit. Once a student learns, they also too become a teacher for themselves. But not necessarily might it fit the same shoe for another. So this is what it's teaching us, to expand and loosen up enough that we might clear and start creating and working and exercising our imagination. And from there we can continue on, and I hope to see you next time. This beautiful place in nature. So beautiful. So when you see this connection, how today I must integrate both sides into the wholeness of my mind, that I make enough. that I complete snowflakes within myself to feel the oneness. Or I can split it into saying I'm on the bridge and this is one way, this is another way, this is another way, and this is another way. You see? Oh, thank you very much for joining me here today. And until next time, as we explore the many facets of what it means, this thing called Ascension. And day 240 and lesson 209, I will see you there. Until next time. Bye-bye now.